Enjoy, everybody.
Welcome, everybody. So happy, so honored to be with you today. Today is March 14th of 2021, a significant day in a lot of ways. First of all, I want to say happy Mothering Sunday. It's Mother's Day in England. And I have my own, I have a love of England since I've lived in a lot of countries, actually. I lived a lot in Africa and Asia and India. Probably the country besides the US that I've lived the most in is England. And so I have a big love of England. I have so many people that I love. So many people in the 100-day course are participating from England. And today's call really is all about mothers. You know, it's about ancient secrets for ADD, ADHD. And you're going to hear some stories from some mothers that will just touch your heart. You know, mothers, I'm very attuned to mothering is not always so easy. You know? And there's no instruction manual. You know, you have a baby and no one gives you the instruction manual. You know, so a lot of it you figure out. And in fact, I think it's the epitome of the opening quote of the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. And really, mothers are left to be guided by love, you know, and to lean into it. And as humans, we make mistakes, you know, and we do our best. And in the midst of it, sometimes we feel like, I could have done more. In fact, speaking about England, I just was on the phone with a dear friend from England who I've known for 25 years. I put her picture in the email that I just sent out. And she was really struggling because, you know, some really horrible things happened for some of her children, and she felt like a failure. You know, she spent her whole life working with troubled kids. To me, she's a model of how to love kids. She would work with gangs. And as this, you know, elderly woman in England, she'd go into the gangs, and she told me what she would do is she'd go to the toughest kid, you know, the one who's the leader of the gang, and she'd look him straight in the face. Actually, she'd have to look kind of up because they were usually taller and bigger than her. She'd look up and she'd say, "You disgust me." So she'd just have this face off with this gang leader, and the gang leader would be shocked. You know, here's this kind of grandmotherly woman coming up and saying, "You disgust me." And she'd follow up by saying, "You have so much potential. You're a genius with people, and you're wasting it on this. You're a leader, but you don't even know how to lead." You know, so then she like just go into the midst of it, like recognizing their strength, recognizing their potential. And pretty soon this person they'd be best, you know, they'd be following, my friend's name is Helen, following her around, and she'd transform the whole gang into doing service and doing productive things for the community and going to doing things for school. And I just thought, man, what an amazing woman, you know? And the thing that was hurting her on the call this morning was she felt like with a couple of her own kids, she'd failed, you know? And I know my mom and my dad feel that way sometimes. And I don't think it's possible. Dr. Ram says there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. You know, another thing that Dr. Ram says so powerfully, he says, "Aditi Devo Bhava," you treat the unexpected guest as if God himself or herself has come. And in the unexpected twists and turns of life, there's a divine dance. You know, even just recently, I was in a pulse clinic in Joshua Tree and in LA, and so many people on this call were there. I want to say it was such an honor to take your pulse and be with you. So much magic and miracles happen. Actually, if you were in that clinic, you know, just in the chat, you can just say, "I was there," or whatever you want to say. Also, I want to see where everyone's joining from. Just go ahead and chime in the chat, the place you're joining from. In the clinic in Joshua Tree, it was at Jody Curtis's beautiful place, and it was awesome. Such a good environment there. I got to meet Kira for the first time, her daughter, which was awesome. And so many magical things happened there. And at one point, there's a woman who is really, I don't know how to say, she's so talented in so many ways. I don't know if she's on this call. I can just check real quick. I don't see her on this call right now. But she just looked at me and she says, "I feel Dr. Naram here," right? She felt like, "I feel like he's communicating with me, and there's a woman with him." And she says, the woman with him is your sister. You know? And then she was communicating this message where Dr. Ahn was bowing to her and then pointing to me. And then my sister who took her life, you know, if you've read the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, you know that, you know, when she was 21 on Valentine's Day is when she, and when we found out that she had taken her life, you know, and since then, it pushed me in a lot of directions. And in this moment, in this meeting with this woman in Joshua Tree, where I was taking her pulse and she was just speaking to me these things, she says, you know, your sister wants you to know how proud she is of you and how she understands that, you know, even through this tragedy, in one way or another, it's helped guide you on this path in which now so many people are experiencing healing. And, you know, we don't really know the end of a story, and the end of a story isn't the end of a life. You know, the way the divine works through all of us is really a magical dance. And so as we're honoring mothers today, I want you to love all of you. I want you to love all parts of you, all the experiences that you've had, you know, whether you're a mother or not, you have love inside of you and you're a creator. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have some of the divine feminine creative power inside of you, and you have your own mother that you love. And so on this very special day, we're going to go straight in to drop into from our head to our hearts. We have Gary Malkin here. If you came last Sunday to his Soul Song Sunday call, you would have, you want to come again today. That's at noon Pacific. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But right now, just want everyone to settle into their hearts. And so we have a very special number prepared, music prepared that Gary wrote. And I just am so happy to share this with you. Gary?
Yeah, hey everybody, good morning. Okay, let me just share the screen. Share my sound. It's just, I've grown to look forward to these calls so much. It's like the center of the universe of love. We all just gather together, drawn by the incredible pure love. And some of the quotes I just want to bring up that I just looked at about mothering, just as we're about to hear a song that really is a song that I wrote maybe 30 years ago, and I've sung it at weddings and funerals. And this song is all about a tribute. And so as we're holding space and looking at pictures of people on the spotlight screen, just allow yourself to feel all the mothers in the world that you've known and all the mothers you've never known, and just honoring the incredible gift of the mothers. And here's a couple of quotes just to be with. Life doesn't come with a manual, it comes with a mother. Another one, mother is the name for God in the lips and hearts of little children. And we are born of love. Love is our mother. So let's just use this song as what I call song medicine, letting ourselves just really let the vibrational frequency of music gather our hearts, souls, bodies, and minds, and let us really drop in with this tribute song. Hold on, let me just find it. Where are you? Here we are.
Spend my days in your warm embrace. I feel your grace fill my time. Oh, I've seen you laugh and cry. Oh, I've seen you light the sky. I've learned to love your gentle ways. I know your courage. laugh at fate, you go your own way. Without a word, I always knew I'd share your dreams and feel your mercy for all our days. I love your ways. I've seen you laugh and cry. Oh, I've seen you light the sky. I've learned to love your gentle ways. I know your courage. Oh, I love your way.
Thank God for the mothers in our lives. Oops, let me turn that off. That's another song in tribute to the mother. Okay, thank you all. Let's have a beautiful miracle experiment game today. And here's to all the mothers in our hearts and in our lives.
So beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah, as we're dropping into the space of honoring mothers, I just want you to put in the chat one wisdom you've learned from your mother. One wisdom, one insight, one way in which your mother changed your life from something you learned from your mother. And I'll call on a couple people. You can, on the side where you see the list, you can actually raise your hand and I can call on a couple people. Actually, I think I'm gonna go to Pilar first. I saw her on with her mother. Pilar, can you unmute yourself and just share what's one wisdom you've learned from your mother?
Hi, everybody.
You're there with her right now, your 97-year young mother.
Yes. What I learned is the strength. She's a very, very strong person. And wherever obstacle in her life, she always said, there is a solution. Don't worry. Always there is a solution. Nothing happened. Nothing is lost. Nothing happened. Every problem has a solution, is whatever she said. And my father, it was a little bit less strength like her, than her. And my mom, she always pushed my dad, go, let's go to do that. Let's go. Always taking risks, always in their lives, always. My dad always said, no, because that could happen, that, no, this another problem. And my mom said, no, we have a challenge and we have that risk and we get, and always pushing forward, forward and forward. Very brave and very very strong. Her strength is my learning from her.
So beautiful.
Because I have to say something about her that because she started with the dementia very, very long time ago. And the first phases of dementia are very, very, very hurting and very difficult for her because at the beginning, people realize that they are losing their memory. They realize perfectly. And it's very, very horrible situation, and my mom really realized that she was losing her memory.
Amen. Ya vale.
And then she was at the beginning, she was very sad and very in a conflict every day, no, like trying to get rid of that illness. But finally what she did was become with humor. At the beginning was like a trouble and fighting with that. At the end of that, she realized inside of her that she couldn't change that situation. And then instead of being all the time angry, she changed that for humor. And then he started to laughing about their loss of memory. And that is another thing that I learned, no? That she's strong. The first thing in life is living. The force of life has to be there every day. Even if you lose the memory, you do wherever, but you go. Follow the energy of life, whatever happens. And
So powerful, so
she's
powerful.
very powerful woman, very powerful. I have to say, if you leave my mom now with 97 years old alone in a field, he will be alive. It's very primitive and very connected with the force of life, very connected.
Yeah.
His mind maybe is not in a good state, but his instincts for living and the strength of life is still in her. And that is what I want to learn from her.
So powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pilar. Wow. Amazing to take something as scary as losing your memory and all your memories and turning it into humor. You know, that is so powerful. As I'm reading all the comments that people are saying, what you learned from your mothers, it's so touching. I think these could be put in a book. So beautiful. I'm going to call in a couple of the people. Marcia Levitt, I just want, what's something that you feel like you learned from your mother, some wisdom or some insight?
My mother was a rock. She was one of the first women that worked in the business world. And I was a little girl. And that's the only way I knew. A rock. She did everything for the family. There was food on the table. She worked. She took care of me. I have her picture here with my father because I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. My mother.
Oh, it's so powerful.
You know, my mother had a sharp tongue, all right? She wasn't as soft as everybody talks about their mothers. My mother had a sharp tongue. She was so truthful and honest that you really had to be careful because she said it like it was, and she was not tactful. So the one thing that I learned from my mother was to be tactful. I don't have a sharp tongue, but I will tell you the truth, and I'm very appropriate. And I learned that from my mother.
Oh.
That's just so interesting.
Yeah, it is.
That's just so interesting.
Mothers let us close enough into their lives. We learn from everything. That's why you don't have to really be worried about if you're doing it right or wrong, because kids can learn from it either way. And a lot of times, you know.
Oh, absolutely. No, she was a protector of the family. There was no question about it. I never had to worry about anything. She was there, you know. Hey, she was there. If she wasn't there, she was there.
Yeah.
Well,
I so much appreciate your sharing about your mother, and everyone. As I'm reading your comments, you know, Jan saying, when my mother was taking care of my father, she had a wonderful sense of humor. Chris Bishop, it was my mother's birthday on Friday. She's been gone for nearly 25 years now. Hardly a day goes by when I don't think of her in some way. She made me who I am and gave me so many beautiful gifts I'm thankful for. Mariam says her mother taught her feel the fear and do it anyway. Actually, Mariam, she's part of the speaker and writer group, and she wrote such a beautiful piece about her mother who also taught her about angels being near her, so beautiful. Chris says her mother taught her unconditional love, always supportive, strong family connections. Linda Hogan Estrada, who I just saw in LA, powerful mother who in her own right is, the beautiful thing is, as you heal yourself, it helps everyone around you. And Linda, can you just share one of the wisdoms you learned from your mother?
Love. Really love both my parents. Every friend that knew my parents said that did I know that I was the luckiest woman in the world to have them as my parents. It's just love. It's just love, 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 love. Unconditional. What you read off, she was like everything of that. Just love.
Oh, so powerful. I want to say, when I saw Linda, she's been doing the Hmong detox for less than 2 weeks. Her pain is already more than 60% gone. And she actually, if you saw the Facebook Live video, before she'd be getting up like this, now she bounces up and just jumps up and is going around. And she brought her mother, her awesome, brilliant son, and her brother to the clinic in LA. It's such an honor to meet you all, Linda. It was really beautiful to see your love as a mother, and the love of your mother for you, and the interaction between you two was just so priceless.
Oh, thank you. It was an honor to meet you. And I didn't know when to share this with you, but earlier you were talking about someone, the woman in Harupa, where was it? Joshua Tree?
Joshua Tree, yeah.
That she saw your Dr. Nirvana's sister. The funniest thing is, when I walked in and when I got to the point where I saw you, it was the weirdest thing for me, but I didn't want to share it at the time because I didn't want to look weird. But you faded to a pale color, like you were like an angel. Not to sound weird, but you faded, and around you was, that Guadalupe, Mother of Guadalupe, the Guadalupe statue that has like a fan of white around her. You had this fan of white around you the entire time I was there, and everybody else was clear as day. And I was like, why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing this? And it was just weird. But that told me that you are in the right place at the right time, even though, as we discussed, that you're not sure if that's where, you were intended to be. But you are here. This thing would not succeed without you. And no matter what how you feel, like you don't deserve it, or you shouldn't be here sometimes, or you've done something, because you say those little things. You are exactly where you belong, and you are blessing so many people. And without you, this would not be possible.
Oh, thank you so much, Linda. That's so sweet. Dr. Am, he actually taught a secret. He says, in this lineage, this powerful lineage that goes back thousands of years, these ancient secrets, he says a big blessing is when you get the blessing of your mother, when she blesses something. And there's a story in the book about how Dr. Am helped his own mother to walk again.
Yes.
And when she gave him, she says, now you have my blessing. He says, that was the greatest gift in the world. And honestly, I know my mom, she doesn't like to come on the video so much, but I feel like if anything is working good in my life, it's thanks to the blessing of my mother and my sisters and all the women that are in my life that are just supporting me and loving me. And I love supporting them and loving them. And so, Linda, as you're speaking that, and as the woman in Joshua Tree talked about my sister being present, all I can feel is just grateful, grateful that life doesn't necessarily lead you on the path that you planned, but it leads you on the path that you're supposed to be on. And I believe everyone on this call, you're here for a reason. And on this call today, you're going to learn some secrets which can change your life forever. Specifically about, when do you have a child that has a difficult situation, or when you're in life and there's a difficult situation, whether you have a child that struggles with ADD, ADHD, or some other problem, or some other, I shouldn't say problem, but some other challenge. There's things that can happen. So Arshia is on the call right now too. Arshia was also at the clinic, not only at the clinic in LA, where she brought her son and her husband, and she inspired me so much, but in Sacramento, she had brought her mother. And she told me such a beautiful, amazing thing. And she was on the Saturday call yesterday, but her mother came Is it okay if I share a little bit, Arshia? Yeah. So her mother came and only had 33% kidney functioning, 33%. So usually you have to go for a dialysis, kidney transplant. I knew because I'd seen Dr. Naram and this ancient science helped so many people. I says, no, we can help you. You know, if you follow certain principles, if you follow these principles, and I didn't know it was going to work so fast. She got her report only a couple of days ago, the day before Arshia came to the clinic in LA. And Arshia, what happened in terms of her kidney report? Oh, I think I have to help you unmute yourself again. Just 1 second here. Let's see. Okay, unmute yourself again. And
thank you. Good morning. Namaste to everyone. Yes, Dr. Clint, it was amazing, amazing. We went to the doctor, and doctor looking at the report, he was puzzled. He is like, everything is good. Blood pressure is good. He did the blood pressure. He's looking at, the result, and from 33% is changed to 11% higher. Her kidney function, and that's amazing, amazing. Mom was so happy, so grateful, couldn't believe just these 2-3 weeks can have such result, Dr. Clint.
yeah. Not only that, but Arshia brought her son and her husband, and Arshia at the end of the clinic, Reem was so awesome. She had brought 2 big blankets, boxes full of blankets, and Arshia says, I'm going to also give one to someone who's homeless. And she wasn't able to, but her son and her husband delivered a blanket to a sleeping bag to a homeless person on my birthday, and then showed me the pictures and the video, and they were all so excited about it. It made me so happy. I thought, man, what a mother Arshia is to raise this brilliant boy. Also, Linda, I got a chance to meet her son. Man, such brilliant children, and raised with so much love. And life doesn't always seem perfect. But you guys, you exemplified to me what it means to really love as a mother and to be loved. And I saw the love that your children had for you. So if you have a chance to watch those Facebook Live videos, I highly encourage it. Today, we're diving into it's a subject that I feel like if you really grasp what you hear on this call, and you really grasp the power and the potential of these secrets in your life, you can change so many, you can change this world, like the 190 people that are currently listening through the Zoom call and the other thousands that are watching on Facebook over the next period of days. If we learn this properly, that this is possible, not only it's possible, but it's happened, then how many people we can help? Right now, the numbers are shocking, really staggering. How many children are on really heavy medications, and they're labeled with something that's called ADD, ADHD. Now that's a really tough thing to be labeled. And it's a tough thing in all circumstances, and especially when the existing, authority figures, the doctors that you go to give you certain medications and say this is important. The teachers are panicking, your brother, it's like in this very dramatic situation, what do you do? And so I recorded, I'm going to start with a story from Beth French, she said, I have such a powerful story I need to share on this call. And I'm going to start actually with her powerful story about what is possible. And as you watch it, I just want you to open your heart and your mind to, if this is possible with this amazing boy, Charlie, what's possible for all the kids and for us. And so I'm going to start this beautiful video. Actually, let me see. I think I need to share my audio. We have three powerful stories I want to share with you today, and this is one of them. And so just enjoy this very powerful experience of possibility. Oh, I'm so excited you have a story to share too. So when I got your message and I heard some of it, I'm just really pleased that on this Sunday in which we're talking about this, what are the ancient secrets that can help with this? You have a powerful case. And not only that, but we have some of the pictures and videos and different things. So I want you just to start, as a mother, first of all, when did you notice that something, I don't know, when did you start to have a concern and what was it like?
Yeah, so, ADD it's a very specific thing, right? Because you can't necessarily look at a child and tell that they're struggling on the inside. So my son was just, always very busy, 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 so much energy. I thought it was just me, that I couldn't keep up with him. I was like, tired all the time. And, and growing up, when you talk to people about this, they kind of, brush it off at times like it's his age. But so by the time, he was in kindergarten, we had already changed his schools 3 times because no teacher could handle him. And I remember waking up in the morning and I would be so anxious and so stressed, so worried, how is his day going to go? Did he sleep enough? I mean, just the worry I had in my heart for him every day it's just indescribable. And yeah, so by the time he was in kindergarten, he was in his 3rd school. And we had him assessed for the ADD, and he was on a scale of 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit more, like mentally, emotionally, for you as a mother, how did that affect you, the people in your family, maybe, just to see this and be experiencing
Yeah,
it?
it was truly heartbreaking, Clint. And and thinking back to it and my state of mind, I remember thinking to myself one day, I don't even know if Charlie can tell how much I love him, because when he looks at me, I think the only thing he sees is worry. I think I wasn't aware that my face always probably had this furrowed brow, that I was just ready to be there any moment that he was, doing something wrong or jumping off the top of a tree or being unkind to another person because his body was just moving too fast, So it took a huge emotional toll. It took an emotional toll on me physically and mentally. In the morning, I would wake up, my whole digestion was completely off because I would wake up feeling those physical pangs of anxiety in the morning. And I knew that I had to change that part of myself mentally, because it's impossible to show up for your child when you're letting the stress of what's going on in your life totally take over your life, right?
Yeah. When teachers would send their comments back, like what kind of stuff did they say, and like how did it occur that you had to keep switching schools?
Yeah, so they would say he refuses to listen. He, isn't kind to his friends. He refuses to follow direction. And it kind of got to the point where I would pick him up from his little preschool during the day. And I don't know if any other mothers out there can relate to this when their kids have ADD, but you see all the other kids getting picked up and they're like, they had a wonderful day, she did great today. And then it got to the point where like even the teachers, when I picked Charlie up, because they didn't want to say anything negative, they just wouldn't say anything at all, And so, I mean, in his 2s and 3s class, I was having multiple meetings with the teachers. And it was one of those situations where, I kind of thought, well, they were the professionals. They would know what to do better than me, but they didn't know what to do. And so.
Did they recommend testing, or what made you go in originally? Is it okay if I share this first photo?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what brought you to this point?
Yeah, so this was a really scary time for us. And this Clint was actually about a year ago this month. So he was in kindergarten here. And so not only did he have ADD, but he started to exhibit these eye movements. He would look back and forth and around every few minutes. And so we were really scared. We didn't know what was going on. It was clearly something with his brain. He wasn't in control of it. So we went in for the EEG. And it came back with just his EEG was normal. So they diagnosed him with a generalized tic disorder. And in Western medicine, the answer for tics is nothing. You do nothing. And then the answer for ADD is you medicate. So, neither one of those things were gonna work for me. So that's when we really started to take a different approach. And whenever you're ready, I can kind of get into what we did.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. Now, when they measured it, they have a scale, and you said it was 9 out of 10. Can you talk a little bit about what that means, that scale, and what were their recommendations?
Yeah, so when you go in first to your pediatrician's office, there's certain different ages that they test these things. So when he was so young, we had to do a certain type of assessment of the pediatrician. And then when they're older, they can do a different kind of assessment. But you kind of fill it out, you talk with your doctor, and it's basically a questionnaire, and then the doctor examines them. And and it's so much more in detail than what they ask you, life and what could potentially be causing it. But that's basically how they assess it. What are his behaviors like? What does he do? And so we had to answer the questions. We answered as honest as we could. And so, yeah, it came back that almost everything that they were asking on that scale of ADD, like he was doing everything plus some of those. So that was our first assessment. That's how they kind of measured it.
Got it. And then did they have some recommendations based upon that assessment?
Yeah, so he was younger at the beginning, so they didn't recommend medication right away, but they recommended medication maybe in a year if he was still exhibiting, the same behavior. So I think they try to wait until they're 7 to make like a firm diagnosis, because I think when they're younger, they think that they can grow out of things. But the symptoms of ADD, this is what I've learned in just doing some research, can be caused by lots of different things. It can be issues with the actual brain, but in Charlie's case, ended up being, what helped him was just recognizing his body was inflamed because he was allergic to so many different kinds of foods. So it's just good to kind of do your own research, I think, and figure out where are these symptoms coming from, because this diagnosis of ADD is so broad, and it's not well done in the way that they diagnose it.
What made you, it sounds like you didn't want to do medication. What was it why didn't you want to? What was it in your heart that made you?
It wasn't just my heart. It was more just a gut instinct, Clint, that's just not what I wanted for him. And just a little bit that I did know about medication, I knew that it could change his sleep patterns and that it could change his eating. And he ate everything and he slept 11 hours at night. So I didn't want to change what was already positive, And I just saw, for me, and looking at my child, I just saw someone whose potential was there, right? That I just, we just had to take the time. We had to take the time to tap into what is really going on here. We had to reach him a different way. And that's why I think I was just determined to figure this out on a different path,
Yeah. Well, then there's some other pictures that you sent, and
yeah.
You want to show some of them, or you want to tell a little bit more about the story?
Yeah, well, no, I can kind of go into it with the pictures. I was just thinking to myself as you and I were talking, in this process, when you're trying to figure out how to help your child, I think back if I had met Dr. Naram, when I was going through this, and he had said, what do you want? What would children, I want his tics to go away. I want his ADD to be helped. But then if I really thought about, like, what does Charlie want? What would Charlie do if he had a calm mind and a calm body? And what he would want to be, he would want to make a friend, because he wasn't able to make friends. His body was too busy. He was too much for people. So that was my prayer every night. I would just pray for health and healing, and I would pray that he could make a friend. So when we started to first kind of change what we were doing, we kind of had to change the way that we looked at him. We wanted just to bring the positive out. We wanted to, have him be able to accept the love that we were giving him, and make sure that he felt that. So we just set him up in all kinds of situations where I think I sent you the pictures of the blocks, and he was really good at that. So we could positively reinforce that anything in nature. We took him to the beach, he dug in the dirt, he caught lizards, and frogs and every kind of animal, and we could positively reinforce him with that, because he's so soft with animals. He's so connected to nature. So really seeing his strengths. And when we started doing just that, Clint, even before the food, what we saw was this child who, instead of being a terror, running around the house, that's not who he is. We saw someone who really wanted to make us proud. And so that was the first step. And so from there, we're able to change the food. And what I did was just do that based on the food allergies that I knew that he had. And then we did, some supplementation, or if people were working with your doctors, they would do the herbs, and we would just crush them up and mix them on a spoonful of honey and he would take them down and chase it with water. So he was a little pro when it came to that. And he actually really didn't mind taking those because he would tell me, they make me feel better. This makes me feel better.
Wow, even from the beginning.
From the beginning, like a week in, you know, he fought it for a week, but then after a week of being on, the vitamins, or in this case, the herbs, he was like, yes, I will take them. So, you know, a lot of it was in my mind. I was so scared to change his food and to try to make him take these vitamins, but he was really okay the whole time. So we did the diet. And also one thing I wanted to say about the course, how it's helped me is that I was able to learn the foods that just cause mucus in general. And that was a piece I was missing, because even though he was doing better behaviorally, he still was making mucus. I'm like, what am I missing? And so through the course, I was able to kind of fine tune that. And it really, really helped kind of close the gap that I knew, you know, whatever piece I was missing, that was it. And then from the course, we've also incorporated the Marma points. So we do those every day. We do this one and this one here. And then a couple of weeks ago, you showed us the head one.
Yeah, my mom did for me.
Yes, exactly. And so he actually does them to me first. And then he does them to himself.
Well, I love that idea. I love where he does for you and you do for him. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's another thing, and just seeing someone's strengths, because he's very hands-on. You know, anytime we go to the chiropractor, he wants to do exactly what the chiropractor is doing. So I knew that he would like that. So we stuck with the food, we stuck with the positive reinforcement, and we also took away all screens because of the eye ticks. And so then 3 months into that, his eye ticks completely went away.
Wow, 3 months.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So the eye before it was ticking, and then 3 months it just didn't happen anymore.
And it was really great, because, you know, his eye ticks were happening every few minutes. So it was like you couldn't have a conversation with him without his eyes, you know, going back and forth. So to have them completely go away was so so wonderful. And so then a year in, we had him assessed for the ADD and anything else that he had to challenge him, you know, with his learning at school. And that's when the test came back, and the doctor said, you know, he's about a level 3. And he said, I don't even really see it that much. He said, maybe I would give it a level 3 when he's feeling frustrated and he doesn't really understand what the work is. But he's like, it's really not a thing. You know, his ADD really isn't a thing.
Wow. After a year. Wow.
Oh, great. And so, and here's the thing though, and this is what, you know, I just want to encourage parents to just, you know, to still have hope. That gave us the confidence to know that we didn't need to medicate him from the school standpoint, because even though he's so much better from the classroom standpoint, they're still saying, well, you should look at medication. But for us, we've seen such huge improvement. We're so confident in saying, you know, absolutely not, you know, that's not our path. You know, so not everybody sees it the same way, but, you know, when it's your child and you can see those improvements, you know, it can help you get the confidence to make the right choices for them. But the thing that I'm the most excited to share is that, so right after that assessment, right upcoming on the year, he got invited on his first play date ever. And when I met the little boy told me, Charlie is my best friend. He's my best friend. And that was the first time we've ever been invited on a play date, you know, in his whole life. And so then not only does he have a best friend now in his class, he actually has a little girlfriend too. And I think I sent you the pictures of him giving flowers to his girlfriend. Yeah.
I love it. It's so powerful. You know, Dr. Am, he always would say, if you change your food, you change your future.
Yeah.
And what a gift, even that you know this, you know which foods impact in which ways, which herbs, which vitamins, which Marma points, you know.
Yeah.
Even with mucus, what was it like before versus after learning it? What changes did you notice?
Yeah, so what he was experiencing was he's had ear tubes for a while before we, you know, kind of made any of the diet changes, and he was always itching his ears. He'd always wants to clean out his ears, and he would have mucus coming out of his ears. It was crazy. And so even just cutting out some of the additional foods, like people don't think about just the wheat and dairy from that standpoint, he was eating a ton of bananas. And so that has calmed down it was driving him crazy, his ears. And so, and again, when, you know, it comes to these ADD symptoms and in school, the things that they're bothered by in their body, you know, like his ears, those are distracting them from learning. And so that's just been another level where it's like he can just take it down and be calm and focus on his work instead of having to itch his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you shared such a powerful quote too. I don't know if you just want to talk about this for a moment, but it's so powerful. I think so helpful.
Yeah. If there's any parents on the call, you know, on this Sunday's call, and they can relate to any part of my story, this is just what I wanted to share. It says, don't compare your child to others. There's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. And I just think it's so important, you know, I think our worry as moms can just go so deep, you know, and you want everything for your child. But, you know, with Charlie, it's like his life is going to look a little bit different than other people's, but I just want whatever's best for him, you know, not what I want for him, just whatever is best for him. And I just want, you know, I just hope that and hearing any part of this story that it's just given any mom out there who is so worried about their child and so stressed out, you know, like I was and still can be at times, that it just gives them a little bit of hope. And I wanted to add one more thing about, since we're talking about, you know, from the mother's standpoint, when I started the challenge with the mung bean soup, you know, for me, it was a challenge even to change Charlie's diet because, you know, cooking at home 3 meals a day, 7 days a week for 2 kids, for me can be overwhelming, just food in general. So when I was able to incorporate the mung bean soup into my life, and making a fresh pot every day and just having that on the stove for me to have food all day has been great for me. And I love the smell of the spices as I mix them into the ghee. It just makes me feel so happy. And yeah, so it's just taken that stress off of me for having to constantly think about what am I going to feed myself? I know it's healthy. It tastes amazing. I can eat as much of it as I want. I'm maintaining my weight on it, which is what I want. You know, I don't want to lose, but so for me, it's mentally, it's helped me so much. And then I can really just focus on, you know, what do I feed the kids?
Oh, I love that. And I love it because as you take care of yourself, these kids are sensitive, you know, kids, they can feel. And if you're happy and you're nourished and you're taking care of yourself in this way, it's just, everyone benefits, you know, it's contagious healing in such a great way. Now we have such a special thing you recorded actually of Charlie himself sending a message to everyone.
Yes.
Is it okay if I play this?
Absolutely.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you. So beautiful.
Yeah.
So powerful, so beautiful. Just 1 second. I just want to just make sure wow. So Beth, thank you so much for sharing this powerful experience, you know, and I do want to say that I have no judgment. I want to make sure it's clear that there's no judgment about if people choose medication or not. That's in your heart. And some people feel led to that. And so I have no judgment for that. And in fact, sometimes it may be really necessary. I just want to make sure people know this is an option, you know, that they know this is a choice, that they know that this is one option. It's not a quick fix, but that it can work deeper and deeper. On the call right now, I have such another powerful story. And I think many of you have heard her share part of her story, but I just love for her to share from her perspective what happened not only for her, but for her very powerful son, who I hope is here as well, Atlas. So Sarah, are you there?
I am here, and Atlas is here.
And Reem.
Mama Reem is here, and Mama Jackie, who's upstairs. They've all been a part of this journey.
Wow. So I was just on a radio show called Dream with Reem. And I don't know when it's going to be released, but Reem does this fantastic radio show. We recorded such a fun thing. And also Sarah was on a keynote speech actually with me recently where Bettina, I don't know if Bettina is still on the call. I know she was on previously. It looks like she's gone, but it was so fun to have Atlas. There he is. Yes. Atlas, you have lots of people from all over the world. I just want to acknowledge that you're the greatest guy in the world. Alice, I want to hear from your perspective. Can you share how are you feeling before versus how are you feeling now? Good.
Did you tell him what you asked for yesterday? Soup. You wanted the soup.
Nice.
You wanted the soup.
You know what? I really should have it. I should have had it queued up, but Sarah just sent me a video where Atlas has all the herbs in his hands and he's able just to gobble them down and then drink water. And it's so awesome. You know? Atlas, do you remember before you started taking the herbs, before you're doing the diet kind of stuff, how were you feeling? How was your tummy, or how was your energy? How was your mind? Let me go to this part because this is important. You know, both Beth was talking about when she thought about what does her son Charlie want? You know, Dr. Ram asked such a powerful question. What do you want? What do you want? And she knew what she wanted, but when she thought about what does he want, she realized what he wanted was to have friends, you know? And when I asked Atlas, what do you want? He couldn't answer right away. So I pressed the point, had him close his eyes. And finally, when he got clear on it, he's like, you know what I want? I want to be the best guy in the world, the greatest guy in the world. I was like, fantastic. And he's exemplified that. Many of you have heard the story I shared on New Year's about how he had a bully in school and his bully even had pushed him down several times. And most of us, you know, Dr. Ram talks about how fear and ego impact all of us in crazy ways. Well, he faced his fears, he faced his egos, and he made a friend out of that bully. But his story, what's happened since then, is so applicable for anyone who has a child or is an adult and you feel like you struggle with something that are symptoms of something like, oh, there he is. Hey, Atlas, can you, oh, you're on mute still. Let me just see. Can you share the story about what happened with that bully at school? What happened? Oh, beautiful. Can you repeat that, Sarah? We just couldn't hear it quite.
He said that he made the bully his friend. And this is a bully that the school had to call us multiple times for there being some physical stuff, getting pushed down or getting hit. And I asked him that night, the last night, that it had happened, you know, like what's going on? Usually it's not, there's a dynamic, like a kid isn't pushing him up. And we talked about how everything is a cry out for love, or, you know, an act of love. And then the next day he came back and he said, he's my friend. He says now that they exchanged 10 cents. And it was just some sort of act between kids. But now the kid is not only not a bully, there's no problems, but Atlas pulled him into the whole group. Atlas has like a little group of friends. And they're all together. Yeah.
That's so powerful. I want you to rewind to when it was at its most difficult point. You know, for other mothers or other parents watching this, anyone who doesn't understand, what is it like to have a kid that's as dynamic as Atlas, you know, the greatest guy in the world? Describe what
you mean it
most complicated.
Yeah, it's why it's so special that Mama Reem and Mama Jackie are here today, because these two women actually were there to help birth Atlas. They spent 4 days with me in labor, 4 days of not sleeping, and helped this little boy come out. And the minute Atlas came out, this kid was like this. I'm gonna touch things, I'm gonna move things. Every 2 hours, he'd wake up. I don't know how many years, probably 2 years of him waking every 2 hours. And I remember being at some of my first mom dates. First of all, just in that, you know, imagine being woke up every 2 hours. That's a form of torture. So as a mom, I mean, these girls would come over, my eyes would be twitching. I felt unworthy as a mom. I felt like I was doing something wrong. I read every single book. I was eating everything possible that you could, taking whatever herb. I thought something was wrong with my breast milk, or, you know, and then you go through the rabbit hole of what did I eat when I was pregnant? What did I do? What have I exposed him to? So as soon as he could start walking, 11 months, of course, this kid was walking. And as a crawl baby, I mean, we were like, oh my gosh.
Firecracker. He was everywhere. He
Mhm.
would literally be in front of us and we would turn around and say, hey, Sarah, how's it going? And then we would lose him. Like, where did this kid go? He's not even walking.
It's multiple times the neighbors, and bless their heart, thank God that we're all really close, would say, you know, your kid's falling off the porch. Like, when we were just here. And it was a lot. It was a lot. And I had extra moms there helping to raise Atlas. And so when he got old enough to actually do play dates, that's when more of like the shame and the guilt came in, or parks, you know, just being around, like being this mom who just chasing. And I remember being at one play date and all the kids were looking at an animal, and Atlas is just taken off, and he is trying to meet everything and everyone. Oh,
Nice
sorry,
picture.
sweetie, we have to wait until all done, buddy. And the mom's just looking at me with this empathy and asking, and I'm like, isn't this how it is with all moms? Like, it's this way all the time. And a good friend of ours said to me, and he's a dad of 4. He said, you know, it's not that his peak outdoes when another kid has a peak. It's just that it doesn't end. It doesn't stop. There's so many moments where I laid in bed and thought that I was a failure as a mom. I felt like, not right now, sweetheart. We're gonna wait until she's over, okay, bud? Yes. So where I had felt like a failure as a mom, and had a really hard time. And even at that time, we were doing a lot of cleanse shakes because we were aware of what we thought the injury might be from and why he was the way he was. And these things helped, but it didn't turn the key over. And about a year and a half ago, I decided to leave my marriage. And when you do that as a single mom with a child who's very high functioning, now I couldn't go, forget a doctor office visit. I mean, he would just run from side to side to side. He would touch everything. Grocery stores were just impossible. And then again, like that mom, I cried so many times watching, you know, what my child was seeing is me frustrated, yelling mommy, like, oh my gosh, please don't kill yourself. Like, stop doing what you're doing. Like, just calm down. Really hard. I don't know. I mean, what you felt in that beginning.
It was just always go. I knew whenever I would go over and hang out at Sarah's, it was like I always had to be on, because when Atlas was around, it was go, go, go. And even when it's like you would be exhausted and you'd want to sit down, that's like when he like got his like second wind. And then you're like, oh, like but it was pretty challenging just keeping up with him, just with all of his energy and his so much fire.
And he likes to touch people in the face a lot. And if any of you guys have ever just had people come up and like smack you in the face, even for us, like, and he's still working through some of this stuff, it's slight traumatizing. So I just felt kind of like PTSD as a mom, being woke up every 2 hours, being slapped in the face, and
he would rip off my glasses.
Yeah, like just little things that were different. And then when you decide to leave the partnership that you're in for very good reasons, then you're a single mom with this kid. Thank God he's outside. It's a little hard to have a conversation when he's around. Feeling and concerned about how lovable I am. And if anyone's going to love my very lovable children, is that you? Can you find it? We've got everything going. And especially,
you're getting a lot of love from people right now, and people are loving Atlas. You know, even Arati from Germany talks about her son who was that same age. People are just saying he's so adorable. You know, and I know every time that I talk or I have you speak, people just fall in love with you. Sarah and Reem are just such great examples, not only of loving their children, but also in loving themselves. So now we're in the story of Atlas, but in a moment, I want you to hear how as they've been loving themselves, how their lives have changed. So now fast forward to Dallas. and what happened there, and then what has happened since. So we met in Dallas first time about a month ago. You drove all the way from Austin through the snowstorm. In fact, on the call, Carol, I don't know if she's here, but she gave up some of her appointments, just so that way you guys could have you and Daniel could come and have the appointment. And talk about that and what's happened since.
Yeah, what a miracle that was. First, I mean, Clint watched when we were in the clinic. This was Atlas. I don't know if anybody saw that live, but this was Atlas when we were there. He read his pulse and confirmed quite a few things about what Atlas was feeling. Since Atlas was little, he would complain about belly problems, and I never got like, what is, he doesn't complain about pain like ever, and that was the only thing. And he knew that he had belly trouble, and then he asked him, about some of these other symptoms, and Atlas was like, yes, it does. And Atlas, I had to turn the air conditioning on at night to go to bed. When it's cold, like this kid is just running hot all the time. So he knew all of those, and you could tell a shift instantly. Atlas, anybody's in the presence of Clint, you're in the presence of divine love, and you feel that. And Atlas just quickly centered, and you could tell that he was being seen and heard for what was going on in his body. So he read the pulse, he confirmed what we thought, a lot of fire, a lot of pitta. And then after he did the pulse consultation, Atlas went and had soup with him. So profound effect already in his life instantly. We did put him on the herbs, and we did start switching some of his diet, and Atlas knows that he likes pizza, but pizza doesn't like him. And he's eating salads, and he's eating soups, and he still likes pizza. We're working, and he does eat. But he's done the herbs. He's been off of them actually for a week because we're a separated house. So that's a little bit of a challenge, but when he comes on and gets back on them, it's unbelievable. He goes to bed an hour earlier, solid sleep throughout the night, calm. And when he's calm, the other kid's calm. They play off of each other. And I went from feeling like I absolutely had to have support to my kids are the support. Atlas is doing the dishes, and he's helping vacuum the house, and he lays down to help do his brother's nap. And he's just an unbelievably different kid. I had tears of joy so many times talking about, like, I'm still like, is this real? Is it still happening? He's still calm. He's still centered. It's unbelievable.
It's so beautiful. And then if you can, because we're honoring mothers and honoring the divine feminine, and Dr. Ram, he works so hard on even creating certain stuff so that way the hormones can be balanced at any age, and I know you shared just yesterday a story made me so happy. Can you talk about what's been happening as you've been applying Amrapali's secret, the secret remedy that's on page 292 of the book, also in the formula? I should have had the bottle ready to show, but as you've been using this, what's been happening for you?
Oh my gosh, I feel so alive. When the girls showed up, I was like, I hope you're ready for Happy Land. Like, I'm not sleeping as much. I've still gone through quite a bit of challenges, and I'm like, this is a good thing. I've got this. No more fear, no more anxiety. Hormonally, since I had my second son, I would have a headache every single month, like clockwork. I didn't have that headache this month. I had a tiny bit of menstruation cramps, but tiny. Normally I have PMS, and I feel like I could just eat somebody. Like, I have a day where I feel so angry, and I'm like, God, this isn't me. Like, what's wrong? And that's been since my menstruation started at 13 years old, like fire angry, or crying for 6 hours over no cookies. And that's gone. There's no dip. There's no low. There's no menstruation cramps. Like, unbelievable happiness. I feel so good. And that's only after like a month and a half of using it. The diet and the mung bean. We're all mung bean in this house. Yeah.
Oh, so cool. Sarah has another powerful story she shared on previous calls about how Dr. Ram, she had a problem with a hearing problem. It's a problem with her ear that she said she'd pay $1 million if someone could solve it. And with just one remedy and one phone call, the problem is gone and hasn't come back since. And so how powerful that you're taking care of yourself and your family and in a natural way, and now inspiring so many people just to know this is possible. So in this moment, I don't know if Atlas he's still around or is he in the garage?
He's right here. Atlas, you want to say goodbye or say one last word?
I just want to send all three of you and everyone in your family, because I know you have another powerful son as well, and Mama Jackie. We just want to send you a whole lot of love. So everyone, if you can just put your hands together and just say, I love you and I'm with you. Beautiful. Oh, wow, so beautiful. We love you and we're with you, Atlas, the greatest guy in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you. Atlas, I want to introduce you to someone else. I don't know if he's on the call right now, but this is actually, let's see if he's on the call. My nephew, who I love so much. Let me see if they're there. Marie, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, awesome. This is my nephew, Ty.
You can hear.
Oh, good. Ty, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. I want to introduce you to Atlas, and I want Atlas to meet you, and hopefully you can meet Charlie at some point. Atlas he's how old are you, Atlas, now? 5. How old are you now, Ty?
12.
12. Amazing. Actually, I have such a fun picture to show you. I think this is when Ty was about 5 years old. Let's see if I can show you this. Let's see. Ty, do you remember this day? I'm just going to show him this picture if I can. You remember this? Yeah. We had a fun day. Actually, this was a day in which we were doing a fundraiser for the Nepal orphan kids, and Ty was there. We just decided to make a bunch of goofy faces.
I remember that.
Yeah, Ty has been one of my favorite favorite people, actually, since he was a little kid. And much like you, Atlas, he has such a strong personality. You know, he's able to communicate. Even as a little kid, I just fell in love with him. I'm like, who is this guy? And what's he going to do with his life? And we're going to share a story his mom shared with me. First of all, we're going to share a little video clip, and then we'll have actually not only Ty, but his mom share a little bit after that. So Ty, can I share this quick video that I recorded with her a little bit ago?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Before I share this video, I just want to say that you can see ancient secrets work for other people. You know, you can see the ancient secrets. I traveled with Dr. Ram for more than 10 years and documented thousands and thousands of cases. Only a few of them are in the book. But when it's someone that you love so much, and when someone you care about so much, it means something else, you know? And so on this Mothering Sunday, honoring mothers, I want to honor not only my mom, but my sister and both of my sisters, actually all 3 of my sisters, in the way that they love their kids and the way they honor their kids. And this story in particular is one in which I am so happy that these ancient secrets exist on the planet. So without further ado, I'm going to share this it's just a short 5-6 minute video about when this first happened and the description of what was happening and then what has happened since then. Let me see if I can just find this video. Here it is. All right, just 1 second. Let me find it. Here we go.
And last year I had actually gotten tested for diabetes. And they said, no, he has ADHD and you need to get a psychiatrist. And I was like, no, thank you. And so then I was like, okay, maybe it's time I actually probably need to go to a psychiatrist. So I went into a psychiatrist and they gave us, you know, he had literally every single sign of ADHD except for one of them. And so they're like, yeah, you have ADHD. And so we were sitting in the doctor's office and he looked at me and he goes, so I have ADHD, Mom. And I was like, the the doctor's like, yeah, you do. He goes, I don't want to have ADHD. And I said, you know, Ty, this isn't something that's gonna define who you are. It's just good information so that you know how your brain works. It's not gonna change anything about you. It's just information so that we know how to help you best. But it kind of broke my heart a little bit. And so the doctor gave us medicine, and they gave us a pill, and they told us to take the whole pill. So he took the whole pill, and within an hour, I mean, his whole demeanor dropped, his face dropped, and he was shaking, and he was like, I'm so hungry, Mom. But he couldn't even eat. He was just not, it was just horrible. And I was like, okay, no. And so then I tried giving him a quarter of the pill, and he's like, well, it didn't help with my attention any, and I'm starting to see red spots. And I was like, okay, no more of that. And so after he had been getting marks every day at school, and the bus driver ended up having to call us because he was getting in trouble on the bus every day, and making just, huge mistakes, like putting a water bottle under the bus tire. In his mind, he just wanted it to explode, but it was super dangerous, and he didn't have any impulse control. He didn't have any ability to make the difference between right and wrong. And so I was like, okay, it's time, we have to do something big. And the medicines weren't working. And so we just started fasting and praying about it. I said, okay, Ty, you and I, in our religion, we fast when we have really big questions. And so it was a fast Sunday. I said, Ty, I think the good idea would be for you and I to fast together about what we can do to help you. And so he said, okay. And so we were sitting there as we were fasting and sitting in church, and the idea just came into my mind. I was like, oh yeah, we have these herbs. We forgot about the herbs. And so after church, I said, hey, Ty, why don't we try these herbs again? So he and I kind of just got on board together on how to make that happen and how to remember to do that.
What about the process of taking the herbs? Was it tricky for him to take them, or?
Yeah, it was so hard. So at first he couldn't swallow pills. And so we were crushing them, and they're herbs. They're not like candy. So we would crush them and stick them in peanut butter so it would hide the flavor. And it took a lot of crying. It was really hard. And so then Uncle Clint taught him how to swallow them, so that was great. But he figured out how to swallow them. And so at first, when we did it the first time, we forgot to do it. And then the second time when we decided, after praying and fasting about it, I think that helped, that the combination of knowing that Western medicine wasn't going to help, and it was a breaking point, and also knowing that it was, the right thing to do from the praying. And so I think that kind of helped, but he just, after that, it was pretty easy. He would just take them, swallow them, and move on with his day. It became a non-issue now. And now every morning I don't even have to remind him. I'm like, did you take your herbs? Yeah, I already got them. At night, did you take your herbs? Yep, I already got them. So it's become a thing where he just instinctively does it now.
Any advice you give to another mother or parents if they have a child in the same situation and they just never heard of these herbs or the ancient healing, or?
Yeah, so when I was talking to Dr. Naram, he said something so interesting. He said, you won't even recognize your son. He will be so calm and so happy. I will give you your child back. And I just was like, okay, I'm in. And so I know other moms who are struggling with the same thing, and even in my life, and they're like, wait, they can see the difference, and they're like, how do I do that? It's, what do you have to lose? And you have everything to gain. So it's so fun to just be able to, it does take a commitment to remember to take them. And how hard is that compared to everything else? You would have to remember to take the ADHD medicine, so it's not even that much more of a step, and it, nothing to lose and everything to gain.
And last, any message for Dr. Naram? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Truly, you gave us the child he's meant to be. You gave him back to us, and that means everything to my husband and I, because he was our #1 stress. And we talked about it all the time. We would just kind of hold our breath all day long trying to help him. And literally it was just constant, Ty, stop, Ty. And now it's my husband plays baseball with him all day, every day. They have such a strong bond. And when he was like that, he wouldn't hug me. He would just like anytime I tried to touch him, he would like kind of shy away from me and be like, I don't want to do that, Mom. And now he'll walk up to me and like give me this big hug and tell me how much he loves me. So I am like so grateful that like I now have this kid I always knew was in there somewhere and I couldn't get out on my own. So I'm so grateful for these herbs for helping me allow my kid to be who he was meant to be.
Oh man, that is so beautiful, so beautiful on so many levels. I just want to share another picture. Actually, I'm going to share this picture, and Ty, I want you to see if you remember this day where after this had happened, after I'd recorded the video, then I actually, Dr. Naram and I were actually in Houston. And do you remember this day, Ty?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's so fun. And what is it that you're handing to them? Do you remember what this was?
No, I don't remember.
So they were raising money for the orphan kids and doing different things. I know Ashlyn was doing several things like doing making cupcakes and doing all these things. And then Ty was helping with it as well. Let's see, I think I have a couple more pictures if I can pull them up. It was so beautiful. And Dr. Ram was so proud of my sister, so proud of Ty, so proud of these ancient secrets and how deep and powerful they work. And this picture kind of reveals that this wasn't even that long ago, but this is, I had a lot less hair back then. Anyway, so I was so happy. I just wanted to say to Dr. Naram again, you know, when he helped my dad, I just felt like he gave my whole world back. And then when he helped my sister and Ty, it made me just feel like the whole world needs to know that this exists. They need to know this is possible, that this is an option. And the funny thing about families, I remember my sister asked me, what can I do? And I was like, we can help, because I'd seen it. I'd seen so many cases help. So I gave her the herbs, but they tried once or twice. It was a problem. Then she put them on the shelf and just totally said, no, we're not going to do that. You know, it was only when she went the path of going towards Western medicine and trying with those medications. And Ty, do you remember actually taking those medications? You remember what that was like? Can you describe what happened to you?
It was so different. Everything felt so different. I didn't feel like I needed to, you know, like
What are Western medicine?
Oh yeah, before when you're taking those little tablets from the doctor that you went to see, what was that like? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Actually, I don't remember that one.
Okay, you don't remember that. No problem. I'm glad you don't remember that one. That's a good thing. So then when you started taking the herbs, what happened? I think that's what you were describing. What happened?
Yeah, it felt like I didn't have so much energy inside and I didn't need to move all the time.
So you felt like your energy calmed and cooled down. You didn't have to move your body all the time.
Yeah.
Do you remember any difference at school or with your friends or at home?
Oh yeah. I was getting a lot better grades in school and I wasn't really getting in trouble nearly as much.
Yeah, maybe not as much. One of my favorite stories is that you know, Ty likes video games, but one time he came home after he'd been taking the herbs for several weeks. My sister says he stopped getting his name on the board, you know, and then he came home after about a month and hugging his mom, saying, I love you. His little brothers, older brothers and sisters before were a little scared, you know, but now they just wanted to be with him. They're like, he's the coolest. And he came home one day and he says to his mom, I don't know if you remember this, Ty, your mom told me about it, but he said, Mom, I don't think video games are good for me. I think I want to learn piano. And so then he started learning piano. Every time I go to Houston, he plays awesome piano numbers for me. I wish actually maybe on a future call you can play something for us. What inspired you to want to play piano?
Probably my piano teacher. She always taught me to work hard and to never give up.
Yeah, so cool. So Ty, you're inspiring me. You're one of my heroes and one of my examples. And now you're inspiring so many other kids and other parents. If you had some message for parents or for other kids that were struggling the same way that you had that struggle when you were younger, What advice would you give them?
I would say to hold on and try a lot of things because it will get better.
Yeah, it'll get better. I love that. It's so cool. Well, Ty, if it's okay with you, we have people joining from all over the world. Is it okay if everyone just shares their love with you?
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually allow you to unmute yourself. Everyone, you can unmute yourself and say, "I love you," and I'm with you. To Ty and my sister,
I love it. I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
And
And
I'm
I'm
with
with
you.
you.
And I'm with you.
And I'm
Love you,
with
Ty.
you.
Thank you so much.
I'm with you.
Love
you
you,
and
Joel,
with you.
too. Thank you, Ty. I love you, and I'm with you.
Love you.
Thank you, Dr. Lynn.
Love you
Ashlyn.
and thank you.
So cool. So Ty, you're gonna have to unmute yourself one more time. I want to say I love you, Ty. I'm so grateful for who you are and for what you're doing in your life, and I'm so excited to see what you're becoming. Yeah, anything else you want to share about this experience, or Marie, anything else that you want to share?
Nope.
No, Marie, I know I think you're holding the camera. Anything else that you want to share?
We just, I think, are so grateful to have so many different options available. I love that I don't have to turn to Western medicine for every answer, because they don't have every answer, and in many times make it worse. So I feel super grateful that we have the option to try other things, and how many times these ancients helped us in our lives. We turn to them often in my, and we get, when a new problem comes up, we try what we can, and usually what ends up working is the ancient secrets. So we're grateful those are there and available to us. And
yeah, and you had some recent experiences too. And I don't know if anyone's heard of GERD. It's a GERD, but it's an acidity that comes. And can you share what happened for you with this, and then also the most recent adventure while you're wearing the mask?
Yeah. So in July, I ended up in the emergency room because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't swallow. It feels like anaphylactic shock mixed with a heart attack, mixed with an anxiety attack. And my whole body just felt like it was shutting down. So I ended up in the emergency room, and they couldn't tell me what was wrong. And it took months for them to tell me. And really, I ended up having to Google it myself, but that I have GERD, which they say is just acid reflux. And so I went to Western medicine, as is the tradition. And they told me to get on an anti-acidic diet, and which is basically cutting out tomatoes and sugar and chocolate and caffeine. And then wanted to put me on a drug forever. And those are, anytime a doctor tells me I'm going to be on something forever, I always say, that's nice. Let's see what else I have available.
That's my sister.
So I kept trying all these different things, and I thought I was eating okay, and I thought I had cut out a lot of stuff, and I tried the mung beans, and everyone tells me I don't make it well. So I didn't do well on the mung beans because I'm not a great chef. And so then I came back to Clint because it was by this time it was Thanksgiving, and I have had so many times in the last few months where I literally thought at any minute I was going to die. I have told my family goodbye several times. I've told Josh to take care of my children. Like any minute I thought for sure was my last breath. And I just couldn't take it anymore. It was so painful. By Thanksgiving, I was not wondering if I was going to die. I was begging to die. I was like, all right, God, if we're going to go, like, can you just take me? Like, let's stop this mixing around and just take me. Like, let's just be done if we're going to be done. And so I went back to Clint, and he gave me an even stricter diet than what I thought I was doing, where I did completely cut out gluten and dairy and sugar. I've lost 35 pounds because what the doctors did for me is they gave me an anti-acidity diet. They were not even kind of talking about any of the inflammation, which clearly I had massive amounts of inflammation. And so when I cut out all of that stuff, the inflammation just
left out of my body. So I feel a lot
You're
better.
taking some herbs too as well. So we had some
Lot-
herbal.
I got a lot of the herbs, and those have been super helpful. And then when he said, okay, you still need a little more energy. So I added another herb in, and that's been really helpful. So that's what I've been doing. And then just 2 weeks ago.
What percent better do you feel now? What percent better do you feel now than in Thanksgiving time?
It's so hard for me with percents. I don't feel like I'm going to die every day. So I'm going to say that's a win. So I feel probably 75% better. Some days I feel 100% better, and I feel like I feel like before I got the GERD. So that's great. And then just 2 weeks ago, I came home from a girls' trip with some friends, and one of the ladies said, oh, by the way, while we were there, I had COVID. And we all were like, oh, okay, that's fun. So I ended up getting COVID, and I've been taking the herbs and eating the anti-inflammatory diet, and I lost my taste and smell. But other than that, I haven't felt a single effect of COVID. And then I ordered the Viro Fight as well. And so I've been adding that back in. Once I added that back in, my smell has started to come back almost right away as soon as I started taking that. It's not all the way back, but it started to come back as soon as I started taking that. So watching some of my friends go through this, they've definitely had a much rougher go of it than I did. So I feel super grateful that my body was already very strong, and then I already had all these herbs that were helping me so that I feel like I fought the virus better.
Yeah, I want to say it's so cool. I want to honor the space of family. I remember when I was in college, I was getting my PhD at university, and my sister she was about to go, she was pregnant and about to give birth. And she called me, she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm about to give this presentation at this conference. And she's like, oh, what is it? And I gave her the title. It was a long academic name. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm about to give birth, and I don't think I need anesthetic. I think what I just need is I just call you. You tell me the name of that title again, it'll put me right out because it's so boring. Another time I said to her, I don't know why, but I asked her, I says, Maria, I think I need to get my hair cut. I think my hair is making my head look big. And she looked me straight in the eye. She's like, Clint, your ego makes your head look big. I was like, okay, thanks for cutting it. So, family are honest. And Marie doesn't like Hmong soup, no matter how much my mom is trying to convince her. But she says one of the gifts of COVID is she can't taste or smell. So she doesn't mind tasting things like it anywhere, She's been taking the remedy on page 293 of the book. My mom likes the taste. I like the taste. Some people don't like the taste. But my sister says the good thing about COVID is I don't have to taste it.
Unity tea all day long, and it's great.
I love you so much, Marie. And I love Ty. I don't know if he's still there, but thank you for sharing. Thank you for being you, awesome, powerful you, divine, awesome you, for inspiring all of us with what's possible. Marie, anything else you want to share before we close this part?
No, we love you, and we love the ancient secrets, and we're so grateful for all of it. So
yeah, awesome. My sister writes books too. She's written more than anyone in my family. Really cool novels. And so if you want to go to Amazon, look for Marie Holloman. I still call her by my last name sometimes, but Marie Holloman. And she named them after lots of the nieces in our family. So there's one called, what are the names of your books, Marie?
We've got Serena, Elise, Jade, Shaylin, Cassie Ann, and Eleonora.
Yeah, and they're so fun. She's so creative. She actually has a dream to write a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie. So if anyone has any connections with Hallmark Hall of Fame movie people, and she's a great person. She knows, I'll be watching a movie with her. She'll know the end. She already knows. I'm like, how did you know that? She's like, it's obvious, Clint. It's a Hallmark movie, Anyway, so if you have any connections or you can help her with that, that would be awesome as well. I love you, Ty. I love you, Marie, so much. Thank you so much. Awesome. So what a powerful thing when you change your life, what's possible, how you can change everyone around you. It's contagious healing, Contagious love. So right now the question is, what did love teach you on this call? What did love teach you? And first of all, actually, I just love going to Jana. I don't know, Jana, if you have a chance to share. I want everyone to write in the chat, what did love teach you? What did love teach you? We're about to finish with a beautiful musical piece, and we'll break into a small group just for about 5 minutes where you can share what love taught you. But Jana, what did love teach you today?
You know, I'm really amazed at these beautiful women who have had the challenges of, you know, ADHD with their children. I mean, I didn't have, I wondered if I had that as a child as well, and wondered if that was why, you know, I knew that I was hyperactive, but my daughter didn't have ADHD, and being a mother of her was a challenge. You know, just mothering in general is a challenge. You know, like you said earlier in the very beginning, children don't come with instruction manuals, they come with mothers. So, you know, we do the very best that we can. And, you know, I want to wish every mother happy Mother's Day for the UK. Mother's Day has always been a really challenging day for me. I'll just be honest, you know, because you always have, you know, like what Sarah was saying, you lay in bed some nights and you wonder, you know, am I a good mother? You know, am I doing the right thing? You know, how can I make their lives and my life better? I mean, it's always, you know, that back and forth, because, you know, you have the care of these incredible beings, and you want to be able to support them in the very best way that you can. And it's always a constant thought, but what I love is that, you know, these women that have been on this call today have showed us that they follow their intuition. And I think that that is the biggest gift. When we can clue in and connect to our own intuition, we just know how to, we know how to proceed. And that's what I love about these ancient secrets, is that it helps us connect more into our intuition. You know, the diet helps clear all of this stuff out. So, you know, diet is so important. It's, you know, it's evident by what these little guys have been saying on the call today, that when they changed their diet, they started to feel better. You know, and it's the same with us as adults. When we change our diet, we feel better. And then we can connect even more so into our intuition, and we can guide our lives in the way that we need to, in the way that God wants us to, or the divine, whatever you believe. And yeah.
So, you know, I'm reading these comments. Linda Rousseau says, love teaches her anything is possible. Cornelia, love overcomes everything. Cindy, love teaches you never to give up. Carol says, precious, thank you for all the sharing. Linda Tuma says that love taught her, I matter. Oh, Linda, you definitely matter. Jatendra says, love energizes me. Andrea from Humanity says, love taught me perseverance. Katya says, hope. Serena says, it gives me hope that I can feel better. Aparna says, love taught me that the iceberg of possibility and hope is here. Anne says, even the rough patches are divine. Clary says, the best way to live is with love. Suzanne, love taught me, it makes anything possible. Maria, we can solve any problem. Alex, you can give your all for your children. Sarabjit, love teaches me to love unconditionally. Julianne, love taught me that giving myself is fun and makes me happy. Rochelle says, Jana, you touch my heart every time you come on. Bless you, precious one. So true. I want to just say thank you to all the mothers. You know, for people who Mother's Day is tough, then you're like, oh man, now there's two, a British one and an American one. We have to go through this twice. So I want to say thank you for coming on and allowing us to see all of you. And see all of you and love all of you. You know, I'm speaking to my own mother right now, if you're watching this, and I hope you are at some point, to say, I love you so much, Mom. I love you so much. And I'm so grateful for every blessing, every moment, you know, every single challenge and opportunity that came as a result of being in your family. Thank you so much. To Dr. Naram's mother, thank you for raising this amazing man. I had a chance to meet Dr. Naram's mother. For Beth, who shared on this call, I forgot to share. I asked her afterwards, I said, what % better do you feel like Charlie is? She says, I'm so glad you asked that, Clint, Good question. I would say there's between an 80 to 90% improvement from when it was at its worst until now, depending on the day. I judge this not from his levels of focus, but also his ability to be kind and loving, showing empathy, sharing, etc. Which is what we want for not only our kids, but all people. Someone told me one time, they're like, you should go to the presidents of the countries and make sure that they have these herbs and this diet, so they can make friends and play better with the other kids. So maybe we do a special project and we go to the presidents and the prime ministers and just make sure everyone is on the right diet and the right herbs so that the mind and emotions and body can support their highest calling, which is ultimately what this is about for not only the kids, but mothers and all of us. I just want to say I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you being on this call, for being here. We have a very special musical number to end with. And Gary, what did love teach you on today's call, Gary? And what's this number for us?
Oh my God. Well, for me, love, this particular expression of love on this call is just about witnessing the beauty of our interconnectivity and the commonality of our universal experience and how we're drawn to love like being around a fire. I was going to use that into the Majesty piece, but I think there's another song from that Heart of the World album that I shared last time about from Pamela Poland that I produced in '91 that I think is a more uplifting way of just, it's called Honoring. It's around honoring each other, right? And that's what I love about this call. It's one of the reasons why I love Soul Song as the new thing. And Glenn, I'll let you say something about it maybe, but it's because
actually, I want to say this. If anyone's available today at noon Pacific, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, Soul Song Sunday is something where you discover the prayer of your heart, the blessing of the divine in your life, and then Gary puts it to music. It's magical. It's awesome. So if you can come again noon, look for that, and we can put the link. I also want to say, as we're doing this experience now, as Gary's playing this music, I want you to see how deeply you can go into loving each person you see, and also loving yourself if you come on the screen, receiving that love, how much you can receive that love into all parts of you and allow all parts of you to be loved.
And I want to say how beautiful this opportunity to play this album that I did 1991, and I haven't played it very much for people. So I just want to honor my beloved friend Pamela Poland, who wrote the song, and I produced and arranged it. And now it's just giving it a new life because of the agreement around love this call is all about. So may we all honor ourselves and all we love and all each other as we hear this song. And the power of music to bring us together into the present moment with love. Here it is. It's called Honoring. I'll put a link in on how you can get it, but it's called Honoring by Pamela Poland, produced by me, and hope you enjoy it. Oh, wait. I have to share. I have to share. Hold on. All right. Sorry, I forgot to share. 1 minute. All right, here we go.
Drop in your heart, feel the ground under your feet. May we all take one deep breath in together.
And here it is.
Honoring, we are honoring. Honoring, we are honoring. We are honoring each other, people often meet as part of joyful situations. Friends connecting friendships, we extend our families. Then life's tribulations take their toll, and separation can occur unless we take the time for honoring. We are honoring love and understanding. On these you can depend. Honoring, we are honoring. Problems may arise between us. We will always mend. We will always mend. Honoring. I can be open when I'm with you. If I get stuck, you pull me through. And all of this you do with honoring. We are honoring. Honoring, we are honoring. Honoring, we are honoring.
So beautiful to share this music, the joyful qualities of honoring each other and ourselves, and have a beautiful Sunday, a beautiful week. I hope I see you on Soul Sung Sundays today at 12 Pacific, and God bless all of you. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you, Gary, so much. Love you all. You know, for those that want to stay on, just to interact with other people and share, what did love teach you? You can stay on the call. For those that need to leave, we love you. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday if you're part of the 100-day course, or next Sunday where we have some really special stuff planned. This last week, you knew it was my birthday, and I just want to say I love so much love that came. And this is one of the gifts that came from a mother and a daughter, from Ronnie, and also from her daughter, Heidi, gave me this shirt. Show it to you. Can you see it? It's so fun. It made me so happy. Miracles do happen. I love you and I'm with you. And so the people who are in charge of the special art project for the Nepal fundraiser are creating t-shirts like this that you can also get in the mail, give to those you love. But miracles do happen. And so grateful for you joining this Miracle Experiment call. For those that want to stay on, we're actually going to go into breakout rooms right now. I just want you to share with the people in your breakout room, what did love teach you today? What did love teach you today? You'll be in a breakout room with about 4 or 5 other people, and you'll just see it on your screen right now. You can just go ahead and click on that. And if you want to join a breakout room with people from all over the world and just share, what did love teach you? I want to say that I love you and I'm with you. Hello, hello. Oh, let's see. Maybe I have to unmute you. Just 1 second. Let me see if I can unmute you. I think I may have to click something there. Just 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, there we go. Shavank, I want to hear, what did love teach you? What did love teach you today?
It taught me like how to be happy. That it gives us like sense of happiness in our mind and calmness.
Yeah, so beautiful. So glad you joined the call, Shavank. Where are you joining from?
Oh, I'm joining from USA.
From USA? Oh, welcome, welcome. Well, super. Is there anyone else that's on this call right now that's live that would like
Oh,
to
what was the name of the herb that Ty's had?
say that, Shavank?
Oh, what was the name of the herb that Ty's had? What kind of problem?
Oh, that Ty took? What were the herbs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great question. I can make sure I get that to you. Can you put your email address in the chat, and then I'll make sure I email it to you everything you need?
You want me to put the email address on the chat?
Yeah, you know where the chat is?
Yeah, I know. I can just do it.
Great, and then I'll make sure you get that, Shavank. So great.
I thought this is for you, you know, and he was keep on telling, no, you should sit with me. No, I'm not going to sit with you this time. You have to take it whatever you can take from this call.
Yeah, he asked me a very powerful question. He said, what were the herbs that Ty took? He wanted to know what my nephew took, which herbs? And so he's asking all the brilliant questions. I'm so proud of him. So I said for him to put his email address in, and he put it in, and I see it's for you. I'll make sure that you get everything that you need.
Okay.
Yeah, so proud of you. Yeah.
And thank you, Dr. Clint, you know.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you're asking a very good question. What to do to enhance memory? So there's some herbs like in the Ayush Shakti to help identify executives. There are some diet that can help. But there's a marma point on the left hand. Right here, this point, it's actually also in the book, and Giovanni caught it on the call yesterday. But on your left hand, this point, right where your thumb is here, can you see it?
Yeah, right.
Press it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can also, if you want to, with the same hand, you can press that same point just by going like that. This is one of the powerful marma points for memory. Then there's certain formulas that help. There's one called brain toe formula. There's one called, there's a couple different ones, and I just want to make sure that you get the right ones, because are you living in, which city are you living in?
Wichita.
Which city are you living in?
In Wichita in Kansas.
Oh, Wichita, yeah. So coming to Wichita, I just want to put together the whole list. But then there's some diets, some home remedies, and some herbal remedies that can also help you. And so I want to put together the whole list for your very powerful son, because here I'm just so happy that he came and he did it.
Yeah.
But this is a
Yeah,
moment right here. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Dr. Miller uses
Dr.
all the time.
I think I should go back and read the book, because when I was reading the book, I remember, you know, I read that point. So I will go back to your book and read it again one more time.
Yeah, and you can even press the marma point to remember to read the book.
Right.
Very marma.
Okay.
So beautiful. Well, we're bringing everyone back into this main room now. So beautiful. Welcome back, everybody. So awesome, so powerful.
Clint, I got a mistake. By mistake, I clicked the wrong thing. I don't know what I clicked, and that's why I don't know where I was.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. And what did love teach you today? What did love teach you today?
Love taught me like anything is possible, because now I'm 76 years old.
No, 76 years young.
Oh, yes, 76 years young. Yes, you are right. I like that. I need to learn to say that with my age now. But when we were kids were growing up, I had to teach them and I had to support them all my life. Now the roles are completely opposite now. They are the one always telling me, "Mom, it's okay. We are here."
Oh, so beautiful.
The love teaches you a lot. Now, if you do your job right, you do get rewarded many, many thousand times. Because I never thought when I was teaching them when they were growing up, they are going to teach me one day and take care of me. And now it is roles are completely switched, completely opposite now. And every time they remind me, don't
Beautiful. So
worry.
Sunanda is sharing, for those that just came back from the breakout room, she's sharing about how the roles switch. You know, you take care of your kids and then they take care of you, and the rewards are multiple fold. So beautiful.
And you are so
I'm so grateful that you're on this call. I want to hear from a couple other people real quick who I just want to hear what did love teach you today? Maybe Sislin, what did love teach you today?
I think that this group is such a special group. I'm just a bit overwhelmed at the moment. Love has taught me so much. I just think that this is so rare, this coming together, especially when, people are in isolation or, we're in lockdown. I could never have imagined at all, that I would have been on such a great meeting, so many people from so many different parts of the world. I just think it's so amazing. And, for those parents and people like myself, actually, who look after or have looked after children with ADHD, I found those children. I had a little boy whom I actually forgot that he had ADHD because I thought he was the perfect child once I was able to reach him. And I'm just seeing, so many people who are working so hard and tirelessly to understand children with special educational needs. I've always said it's us who don't understand them, that they have a perfect language of their own. But I'm just so overwhelmed and so appreciative of this group. I think this is an amazing, amazing group and an amazing course. And I couldn't have been paid to say this, because I simply didn't anticipate when I joined this group that I would get so much from it. So love is just continuing to teach me.
Beautiful.
And it's just teaching me that, never give up, never give up, never give up on people, never give up on ourselves, always reach out. So thank you for this opportunity.
Happy Mothering Sunday, and thank you so much for being on the call.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to Sangeeta next. Sangeeta, also joining from UK, originally from Nepal. What did love teach you today?
Namaste, Dr. Clint, and namaste, everybody. I think love taught me miracles happen every day. It's just a matter of acknowledging them, and love can heal patience and perseverance. It can heal everything. So I think that's what it taught me today.
So beautiful, so powerful. I want to go to Ottavio and Bruno. What did love teach you today? I don't know if you can unmute yourself and share some insight or some takeaway from today.
Hello, how are you? From Rio de Janeiro.
Wow, from Rio de Janeiro.
Love teaches me to open my mind, open my heart, to love anyone, not just my families, my friends, but to love anyone, especially the ones that I don't like.
Yeah, I thought that was a powerful part of when Sarah was talking about Atlas. She shared with them, any action, anything anyone does is only one of two things. It's either an act of love or a request for love. It's an expression of love or someone asking, please love me. And so usually when the ones that need the love the most are those that are most difficult. And what's your name? Is it you're the beautiful woman who's with you? What's her name?
Fernanda.
Fernanda, what did love teach you today?
Love teach to be kind with myself.
Yeah.
And accept myself, my fears, my pains, my shortness. Accept myself.
That's so beautiful. Well, it sounds like Love did a very good job today. Andrea for Humanity, anything you want to share about what Love taught you today?
Namaste, everyone. Happy belated birthday to you again, Dr. Clint. Yes, love has taught me forgiveness and perseverance. And without it, we human beings would surely perish.
Oh, so powerful. Radu, what did Love teach you today?
How did you find that I want to speak? Well, I had a thought about love. I was speaking with Ottavio and his wife, and I felt that indeed, even speaking with them, my heart was opening, and I felt really like the energy inside me was waking up in a way. So the realization that I had is that even for longevity, love is number one. Even for longevity, because it strengthens us from the heart starting, and you could not go further with that without that. Is the heart is number one, and this is the love is doing this. It's exactly this. It's the number one ingredient.
I love it. All right, Jill and Denny, what did love teach you to?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Happy Mothering Sunday, by the way. Very happy
Thank
Mothering
you.
Sunday.
Hey there.
Thank you.
Lovely to hear you. Love taught me that those who were my greatest teachers are the ones that I love the most, because they gave up so much in their journey on behalf of their training of me. And once I discovered that I was the common denominator in every scenario that I came into, was the realization of how much love they must have really had for me to to enact the actions that they enacted to help my progress. I learned to love them, not hate them, not forgive them. There was nothing to forgive. They were simply doing their love job.
So beautiful. And Jill, anything?
Yeah, seeing the mums and the children today who were featured, and the love that they had both ways, and the love that's carried them through their journey, and their passion to really help, to really work out and really help that child move beyond the space they were in. I just think is just incredible. And I could just feel the love that they had and the passion, which was magical for me.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I have one other person raising their hand. Love you guys so much. And I'm just so happy, on behalf of not only Claire and everyone who's had consultations with you, but just myself. I love you. I love you so much. So much. All right, Daniel, what wanted to share? What has love taught you today?
Oh, today was very special to hear all those mothers talking about the subject. And love has taught me that love backs us up to do the job as a parent, to help our kids with what we think is good for them, and of course let them their spirit to go free to be what they want to be, to express themselves, not what we think is good for them, but so they can do that. So we can give them the tools, we can give them the proper tools, the principles, the herbs, the contact with the nature elements, so they can have this opportunity to have their spirits go free into. So I learned that love is backing us up to do whatever we can do, we want to do to just be with love. Yeah. Thank you.
I know, because I met your beautiful kids. I just feel like every word you're saying, the power of it. Yeah. Love you, Danny. And I'm excited I get to see you this week. Both Grazi and Danny volunteered to host the clinic I'll be doing. Oh, there she is. Grazi, super. Hosting the clinic that I'll be doing in Miami.
Grazi.
Pretty soon. Let's see if I can spotlight you again.
Is it her birthday today?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Grazi.
Yes.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you all.
Such an honor to have you coming to our house this week. Thank you. It's I'm so happy about it. I can't fit in myself because of that.
Most of my friends are coming, and I already told them that'll be perfect. We're gonna do a happy hour moon soup afterwards.
I love that. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm excited to see you this upcoming Thursday. I love you both. And I'm so happy that both of you, it's an example of two parents, both part of the 100-day course. There's a couple couples that are part of it, but it's so fun in the midst of having kids and life and everything. You chose to invest in yourself this way, and it's so awesome. So awesome. So looking forward to seeing you. I'll just go to one more person, Renara, and then we'll close it off unless anyone has a burning desire to share. But Renara, what did love teach you today? Oh, you were unmuted and then muted. Let's see if we can get you one more time here. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. First of all, I was very moved by all of this love of mothers and this unconditional love, so strong and can make miracles already by love. After when I heard all of these stories about the Asian secrets, my heart just was, in exaltation, open, and say that we have to spread this knowledge over the world. And so many hope to all of the families and for all of the kids. And also I want especially be thankful for all of the people with whom inside me maybe I react by the old memories, not very positive way, but without them, I couldn't know about what I have to clean and heal again. So I really, really thankful for all of these teachers, and love continue to teach me. And thank you, Clint, because in this group, we really learn by love. We taught by love. Yeah. Thank you.
So beautiful. Well, on that note, you can just let's see, I need to make sure that I can make it so you can unmute yourself. Yeah, you can unmute yourself now. You can just say, I love you. I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love
you and I'm with you.
with you.
Love you and I'm
with you.
Grazie. I love you and I'm with you.
With you.
I love you and I'm with you.
All the
Love you and I'm
mothers.
with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with
I
you.
love you. I love with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you. And I'm with you.
Love you
You and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you. And I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you.
So beautiful, so powerful. I love you. I'm with you. Have a beautiful Mothering Sunday. call your mother today, or just speak to her if she's no longer in the body, and just tell her how much you love her. Love you. I'm with you. Looking forward to this very powerful week. We have a bonus call on Tuesday that's discovering what is pulse healing. For the general public, you can invite everyone. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And just so many things coming this week. I love you, and I'm with you. Namaste.